Hey, my name is Bernard Marks, and since things are kinda boring on this island, here's my draw my life. So I guess I'll start with how I came to be. Like all is, I was produced on an assembly line, but unlike the others, something went wrong with me. There's a theory that even I find myself believing sometimes that someone placed alcohol in my blood circuit, and this caused me to be a bit shorter and skinnier than all the other alphas. Now, I was conditioned and raised like all the other guys, but I always felt like an outsider due to my differences, and this kind of caused me to develop these feelings of isolation and alienations from society. Well, this all changed in a span of a few months when I decided to take a trip to the old world with this girl, Lenina. Now, I'd known Lenina for quite some time, and I'd always kind of been interested in her, so when she approached me for a date, I couldn't say no. So I took her out to the ocean, admitted some personal things, and I gotta say she didn't seem impressed, but things got better when I gave into the societal norms, and as the kids say, we smashed. Now, I'd wanted to go to the Savage Reservation for quite some time, so I had to get my documents signed by the director. So when I went to go get it signed, he gave me this weird speech about how him and this girl went up some time, and then the girl got lost and never came back. He also told me he really wasn't impressed by how I'd been acting, and that he'd send me to Iceland if I didn't change my ways. But I eventually got it signed, and then I invited Lenina, and I was on my way to New Mexico. So when we got to the new civilization, things were really different. There were things like mothers breastfeeding their children, and Lenina found it all quite unsettling, but I actually found it quite inspiring. So we went on with our day, and after watching a rather odd ritual in which a man was sacrificed, Lenina and I were approached by one of the natives who claimed that he wished it was him who could have died. After talking for a while with him, I deduced that he was the child of the director, and that his mother is the girl the director left behind. So I devised a plan to bring these two back to my civilization and expose the director. I was able to convince one of the world controllers to allow me to take the two savages back on a special scientific permanence, and within the night I was back in London. Now I returned to the director, and he was about to punish me for my outsider tendency when I humiliated him by bringing out the woman he made pregnant and his son. He resigned shortly after this ordeal, so I'd say my plan worked. So, after this incident, the savage became the talk of the town, and the only way to get to him was to talk to me, so my social status skyrocketed. Now, once I became popular, I noticed a change in myself. I actually started to enjoy the society I was in. I began to have sex all the time and take soma. I finally felt like I belonged. I would even shun the savage and Huxley for being different, all until it all came crashing down when the savage refused to be seen by those I promised could see him. This caused them to insult me, making me feel like an outsider again. Now this particular chapter of my life came to an end when the savage was reprimanded for trying to deny some deltas their ration of soma. The police had to be called in, and the savage, Huxley, and I were transported to the World Controller's office. So when we got there, the controller explained how he used to be a man of science, and when he began to do science that was illicit, this caused him to be nearly sent to an island that he explained me and Huxley would be heading. This caused me to have a bit of a freakout, and I begged him to not send me away to Iceland, and this caused him to call in the security and have them drug me up and escort me out. When I came to from the drugs, I learned from Helmholtz that the island wasn't actually Iceland, and it contained all the people who were unsatisfied with this society, and I came to terms with my reality. So now I'm on the island. I have to say, it's great. Everyone has so many different points of views, and they all have passions for their crafts. I sometimes miss the glory days I had after I introduced my society to John, but I know in the end, this is where I finally belong.